Okay, welcome everybody. Anybody? I would ask anybody with a conflict of interest to declare it at the proper time. We get approval for the meeting of May 4th. Colin,
I'll second it.
Dave, are all in favor? I guess that's passed. And we'll go into the severance application. This is application number B0521. Take notice that an application has been made by 1926632 Ontario Incorporated, owner of Plan 9 part lots 12 and 13 RP 25R9502 Part 2, known municipally as 397 Victoria Street, Township of Warwick, to split the property into 2 lots for a further semi-detached dwelling. Further, take notice that the Land Division Committee of the Township of Warwick has approved Tuesday, June 1st, 2021 at 5:30 p.m. for the purpose of a public hearing into this matter. Due to COVID-19 restrictions, the meeting will be held electronically by Zoom teleconference. No, I got the wrong. How was the meeting advertised?
Notices were sent by regular mail and posted on the property on May 12th, 2021.
Thank you. I got the wrong thing coming up here.
Take your time.
Shoot. Sorry.
If I may, Chair Westgate, there is correspondence that I could read.
Yes, all right, we're in. I've got it now.
Sure. So there was 3 received. One from the St. Clair Region Conservation Authority that says they've reviewed the subject property and they have no concerns with the proposed application. One from Bruce and Linda Anstey that says, our opinion is to not allow the building of a semi-detached house on this property as the lot is too small. The lot is for a single family dwelling and backs on the south side of our property at 89 John Street. And there's one from Paul Ballard and Kate Taylor. Bear with me because this one's a little lengthy. It says, my name is Paul Ballard, resident and owner of 391 Victoria Street in Watford. I'm writing on behalf of myself and my family regarding the severance application B0521 submitted by 1926632 Ontario Inc. to the Land Division Committee of Warwick Township, requesting a lot severance for a future semi-detached dwelling development at 397 Victoria Street. This lot is directly adjacent to ours. Our request has been submitted to attend the public hearing on June 1st at 5:30 via Zoom regarding this matter. I would like to exercise mine and my family's right to participate in the public hearing to express concerns about the effects that this decision will have on our town, our neighborhood, and my family's lifestyle. The concerns we'd like to address are as follows, but are not limited to: reduced personal privacy. We believe that there would not be enough space on all sides with adjacent property of the proposed dwelling, greatly affecting the privacy of the surrounding families. Congestion of the surrounding neighborhood. We feel that the streets and intersection are relatively busy to begin with, and therefore adding a multi-dwelling unit could make this problematic for area residents. Community safety impact. We're concerned for child safety, given that the Child Care Center and St. Peter Canisius Elementary School are across the street from the proposed project. We feel that with more vehicular traffic comes an inherent reduction in the safety of those attending the aforementioned facilities. Negative environmental impact. Locally, both fauna and flora will be affected by this decision. The lot currently has 3 mature trees marked for removal, as well as multiple other small trees and shrubs that will be removed to make space for the semi-detached structure to be built. We'd also like to include that multiple residents and fellow neighbors have expressed concerns over the size of the lot being too small for the proposed structure. We understand the necessity for growth in our community and realize that development is crucial in sustaining our growth as a community. However, we feel as though the lot at 397 Victoria would be better suited with a single dwelling unit to limit its impact on the surrounding neighborhood. Thank you for reviewing your concerns that we presented. We look forward to discussing these matters on June 1st.
Thank you, Heather. We'll now have the planners report.
Okay, thank you. So this is an application to sever 397 Victoria Street into 2 lots. And the applicant plans to construct a semi-detached dwelling across the 2 lots. So in terms of our recommendation, planning recommends that the committee approve consent application B-05 of 2021, subject to the following conditions: that a copy of the deed and reference plan be submitted to the Secretary Treasurer, that there's a deed stamping fee of $250 paid to the township, and the third condition is that all conditions be fulfilled within 1 year of the notice of decision of this consent. This proposal is consistent with provincial policy statements. The permitted residential development under the township official plan and complies with the development standards under the zoning bylaw. So in terms of the provincial policy statements, one of the statements states land use patterns within settlement areas shall be based on a range of uses and opportunities for intensification and redevelopment. This severance and future semi-detached dwelling are good examples of intensification and redevelopment, as it enables a more efficient use of land and new development that can integrate with existing buildings in the neighborhood. In terms of the county official plan, under the county, the subject site is in settlement boundary area and is designated an urban area. Urban areas are generally encouraged to have a mix of housing forms, services, and recreational facilities to enable citizens to live, work, and play in their communities. The proposed severance is supported by the policies of the county official plan. Under the township official plan, the property is designated residential. The permitted residential uses on lands designated residential include single detached dwellings, semi-detached dwellings, and duplex dwellings. Also within residential areas, intensification is encouraged in areas that have sufficient servicing capabilities. And this severance will increase the residential development in this part of the community, and it involves the development of vacant land. In terms of the zoning bylaw, the subject land is located in the residential 1 zone. Under this zone, a lot intended for semi-detached dwelling must have minimum lot frontage of 10 meters and a minimum lot size of 300 square meters. The proposed severance will result in lots of 404 square meters and lot frontages of just over 10 meters, 10.11. In terms of the house itself, according to the zone bylaw, semi-detached dwelling with attached garages requires unattached side yard setbacks of 1.2 meters, whereas the semi-detached dwelling will have unattached side yards of 1.28 meters. Just in terms of comparison, a single detached dwelling has the same setbacks, 1.2 meters on either side. There is one element of the proposed dwelling that need to be adjusted. Under the zone bylaw, the maximum lot coverage or the building footprint permitted on the lot is 35%, whereas the semi-detached as proposed will result in lot coverages of approximately 41%. So the design of the building will need to be adjusted to comply with the lot coverage. I believe the back end, so the north side of the building has a covered porch at the moment. So if that porch was uncovered, it's considered deck and reduces the size of the house. And then I have a site photo showing the property. And that's my presentation. Joey, you're muted.
Thank you. Has the applicant got anything you would like to add or explain about the project? Paul?
Oh, the architect. Oh, well, no, he's,
The applicant.
yeah, the applicant. Yeah, no, he's, my client, he's
Oh,
looking to build a couple of nice, senior style homes, just like, are to the north of Mr. Ballard. The ones that John, Billy Van Hoovel built years ago, but a little fancier. We're a little sad we got to lose those covered porches for whoever buys them, but hey, we'll make it work.
thank you. Is there anyone else in attendance that would like to make comments for or against? Paul, did you want to say anything?
What would you like? I think it's all pretty straightforward. I think we're pretty good to
No, I
go.
was just, I'm sorry, the other Paul.
Oh, okay.
What do you mean, Paul? Thank you. My points that I made against this were that it would affect us and our privacy. And again, I realized that that this town does require development. I'm a little concerned with the amount of space that it takes up. You're putting two families in this space where I feel there should be one. Again, I realize that there is a property north of us with the same scenario. The proposed plan puts two families into quite a small area, and I just feel that it's a little congested after that. That's all.
Well, ideally, these style homes are geared for more towards seniors, which is what you've got to the north. You've got 4 senior, and that's what that's really geared for. They're not really family homes. That's the need that we've got identified as. I get phone calls probably 3 times a week if you got anything like that. There's already going to be a lot of single family residence homes going in at the old school property and to the north of town on Chuck Hollingsworth's property. These are the perfect spots, these infill lots, to do this type of project, and that's the need he's identified and he wants to go after. You're going to have nice, quiet neighbors by most likelihood. We could put a single family home on there in a big shop, and it'll be a bigger footprint than what we're proposing.
Right, I'm aware of that.
Yeah.
It also, with a single family, you have fewer vehicles, fewer community impacts with noise and such. So that part would be.
These are going to be free. They're going to be freehold homes.
Oh, we
owned
should
by-
go through the chair and, okay.
Yeah.
Is there anybody else with anything they want to add in the public? Does anybody on the committee want to have any questions?
I had a question, Jerry,
Yeah.
for
Yes,
Paul
John.
Shanahan.
Sure.
Paul, how far back from the Victoria Street will these be? Like Phil might have mentioned it, but I missed it. Like how far back into the lot are these buildings going to be?
Minimum setback.
Like what I'm saying is, how long is it? Okay, so the driveway will be only for one vehicle.
There's
Would
currently
that
a
be
double.
a fair thing to say?
Yeah, there's currently a double driveway on that spot. So there'll be 2 separate driveways there, likely at the end of the depending on how they finally agree to do it. Right now they have mutual drives over on the other properties, but we'd probably prefer to have singles.
Okay, I guess the point I'm trying to make is that if there's only room for one vehicle, then there'll be two vehicles there, and then, you know, we always end up with two vehicles per household, so then that's just more cars out on the street. I'm just thinking of the buses
No,
picking
we-
the kids
we-
up
we can-
and all
we
that stuff.
can put- we
I
can
guess
put
I kind of agree a little bit with what Paul is saying.
We can put double drives on there. Yeah, no, we've got, there's congestion all over the town. So yeah, no, that's not an issue. It can be
Well,
handled.
That's not our call. I'm just trying to make that point. Yeah, I was just wondering if that had been taken into consideration at all.
Well,
Okay.
it'd be very similar to the properties that are just to the north on Warwick Street, or sorry, on John.
A question?
John Street.
Is there anybody else that wants to ask anything?
I would like to ask a question. Will this impede my ability to apply for a variance to have my driveway entrance moved around to the Victoria Street side as an entrance point? Because of the severance initially from the original lot size, I've lost reasonable driveway access to my property altogether. Now, I'm going to have to apply for a variance because the access provided from the John Street entrance is basically useless to the property and how the deck was constructed previous to my purchase. And I was in the midst of applying for a curb cut variance so that I could move it to the Victoria Street side now with the extra driveways. And I know that verbally it was mentioned to me that the new landowner would work with me on a curb cut, whatever that means.
Yeah, and he will.
Excellent. But if I have to apply for my own, will this stop me from doing so because there are already too many entrances in that zone? Or how does this affect me? All
We
the
can
vehicles.
ask our planner that. I don't believe it would, but
Okay. Well, yeah. So the criteria fits for me to have one over there and
yeah, we'll ask Phil, okay?
Yeah, in terms of getting access, it should be fine, provided it's not too close to the intersection of the two streets. But based on your property, assuming you're 20 meters wide, that gives you roughly 19.68 feet worth of driveway
that's reasonable.
wide, which is maximum. Anything wider than that, then you'd have to get a variance. Problem, there will be an application that you can make with the township to do that. It goes through their public works departments.
Yep. Thank you.
Is there anybody else with any questions? Or was something you want to add? If not, if there are no further questions, the committee hereby closes this portion of the meeting. Notice of the decision will be mailed out within 10 days from the date of the committee's decision. The appeal period is 20 days after the date of the decision is mailed. After that date, if there are no further appeals filed, then the application becomes final and the property owner will be sent a notice. Thank you. Thanks for everybody for attending.
Thanks, Jerry.
Thank you, James.
Okay, I guess we may as well go on and anybody want to make a motion or any discussion?
Sorry, Jerry. I probably should have mentioned earlier, I gotta take a conflict, like a pecuniary interest on this one, just in consult. I emailed my stuff to Heather just now. That's why I've been on mute and had my camera off. So just wanted to get that as part, sorry.
Okay.
I guess I only have one comment. It is, I mean, it does fit criteria for lot lines, but it is pretty tight. But if it's designed for seniors, you know, that makes it a smaller footprint as far as family and gatherings and whatnot. So, you know, that's my only comment. I mean, there's people that want to buy a postage stamp and they can have it. So it's not for me, but that's not for me to decide here anyways.
And there are other homes like this right in the vicinity,
Exactly. Yeah. It's,
and it does meet our bylaw.
I just wanted to ask Phil a question. Phil, there's absolutely nothing that this committee can do, like Paul Shanahan here has said, this is designed for seniors, and I would fully expect that would be who would move in there. But we have nothing to say on who ultimately could move in there, correct?
No, we can't dictate what type of people move into a building. The courts have stated we can't people zone anymore. They used to do that prior to, I believe, 1980. They used to have, you can dictate who can move in. That's no longer valid. You can set it up for seniors. The first people moving in may be seniors. Future owners might be a young family moving in. There isn't anything the township or the county can do at that point.
kind of like severing a place in the country. The first people might be farmers, and after that, you don't know who you're going to get. So.
That's right.
Maybe if I can clarify a little bit, these are going to be ICF homes on slab with in-floor heat, just like almost identical, but with larger bedrooms than what Bill had done in the past. And you don't typically see families moving into properties that don't have a large basement, which these won't have. They're going to be, fancy homes geared to seniors on one floor and handicap ready for the doors and everything. So, that's the niche that we've identified, and I think that's probably what will play out eventually.
I guess my only other concern, Jerry, if I may, is, the neighbor with the cutout for his driveway. I mean, I've seen the cutout on John Street, obviously, because I have a few people that live very close to there, but that's not functional. And if I don't feel Paul should have to apply for a variance to do a cutout, I think hopefully the new owner can work with him and the township can work with him on doing that. It's an added expense to them, and really it's not their problem. But
actually,
Paul, I'm sorry, but your part of the meeting is over.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was just going to say the builder's already agreed to do it. So, okay.
Yeah. No, I just wanted to bring that up. I mean, it is an unexpected expense to them, and I hope, Paul did mention that they'd work with them and stuff. So I just don't want to incur extra costs. And I mean, we can't do anything about it in a sense, but it's just part of the process, I guess. So
I do not believe they need a variance for it. They just need for a curb cut.
Okay.
Am I right, Amanda? Or Phil?
I believe so, yes. Councillor Westgate, it would just be subject to Public Works approval. They'll look at setbacks from the corner and the whole layout, but it's typically a simple process, and a variance would only be needed if you're going beyond the regular size, which I believe Phil said was 19 feet. That's a really, really big driveway.
And if they could work it together and have the curb cut come out one time, it would probably save some money.
So just a bit of clarification on the location of that driveway. It has to be at least 9 meters from the center lines of John Street and Victoria Street. So 9 meters back from that is the minimum distance.
So it just has to be back from the stop sign. Yes.
Well, it'd be the center line of the intersection, where if you did Victoria Street straight across and John Street straight down, that point where both center lines would theoretically intersect in the middle of the intersection, go back 9 meters and create a triangle. It just has to be outside of that.
I don't anticipate Paul putting it right in his front yard, so it would be off. It would be further back than that anyway. So. Anyway, just a point and comment.
Okay,
I kind of agree with John. It looks like a bit of a postage stamp, but I think it will look nice. And based on that, I guess our hands are tied. I think that I will go ahead and make the motion to accept this severance.
thank you, John. Have we got a seconder?
I'll second it.
Dave? All in favor? Thank you. Before we close the meeting, Heather, do you want everybody to come out and sign it, or?
You're having some IT issues, so I can't actually access the decision at the moment. But they're hoping it'll be up in the next few days, I think, right, Amanda? They're hoping. So I will contact you all when I can get access to it to have you come out and sign it so we can get it out as soon as possible.
Okay, because I will be away a few days and tomorrow.
After tomorrow, okay.
Is that essential travel, Jerry?
Yes. Very extensive.
I will be away as well, Heather, starting Thursday, and mine is essential.
Jerry?
No. I'm going on a quality trip.
Oh,
Is there any other business?
I have none.
I guess that we can adjourn the meeting then.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Here's
Hey,
all.
guys.